I've raised the point that is often raised in the context of Tamil Nadu. You've given your answer. Let me close the interview with something very different. And it's also something you've been asked before, but I'm going to see if I can get something different out of you. You've often spoken about being a religious person, a devotee in a party that is statedly atheist. I just want to know, because you've said you've had no problems. You had told Karunanidhi about this. Today is a special day when it comes to remembering Karunanidhi. I just want to ask you if you ever had any arguments with him about atheism versus religion. Have you had any of those interesting conversations that you think is good to share with us today?
No, listen, I don't go around what do you say, broadcasting my faith. My faith is visible on my forehead and in my actions. When I'm asked, I say that I believe in God, I believe in good deeds, I believe that my life turned out because of the good deeds of my fathers. I believe that by doing good deeds, I'm accruing benefits to children. But that's when I'm asked. I don't go around talking about this every day. Where you're making a mistake, I think, is in calling the DMK an atheist party. As I made only one observation. When the nomination filing for MLA candidates within the DMK party happened, though the nomination filings were kept open for, I think, 14 days or 13 days, 90% plus of all filings happened on the one day in the 1.5 hour periods that were considered auspicious under the Hindu kind of, mores, number one. Let me say one more thing. Every single time I've ever gone campaigning in 2016 or 2021, every single officer of the DMK who's in charge of that corporation ward or that division starts the day by going to a temple and offering a prayer before we do the day's campaigning. So I think the disconnect is not with me. The disconnect is with this notion that the DMK is an atheist party. It's hard. I mean, I'll just ask one question. Do you think it's possible in Tamil Nadu, the most practicing Hindu, broad tent, democratized religion state, for a party that is atheist to win 2/3 or 75 or 70% of the seats? It's just not realistic. I mean, this whole notion is a fallacy.
That's very interesting, and I guess I've often thought that you can be culturally rooted, often including in religious rituals, and not necessarily be institutionally religion. But we leave that debate for another time, because it's. You want to say something? Go ahead.
I have two important points. Points I want to make. You can cut it from the interview, but if you have 2 minutes, I want to make two important points.
No, we won't cut it. You're live. You're on live, so we're not going to cut anything. But
okay. Periyar himself said that I have no problem with the notion of God. The God that you say that requires sacrifice, that sacrifice society, that says this caste can come in and that caste must stay out, that women should not be allowed in when menstruating. When this kind of God that you say this is the norm, I have a problem with. But if there is a God for whom that these mores are not there, that all are equal, that you don't have to give anything to go in, that you don't need an intermediary like a priest. If there is such a God, then I have no problem following that God. And for saying so, I'm being called an atheist. An atheist, meaningless term. It says I believe in nothing. Who believes in nothing? Everybody believes in something. Number one. Number two, more than Periyar, and Anna is the right person to talk about this. Anna founded the DMK, not Periyar. Periyar founded the DK. Periyar founded the self-respect. The DMK was founded by Aringer Anna. And Aringer Anna says, I am a rationalist. I am against what he called Mooda Nambike or blind faith, which says, for example, that a 25 or 30-year-old woman should jump into the funeral pyre of her husband because the husband died. I am against that kind of blind faith. I am a rationalist. But if you ask me, does belief in God help society? Does it make for a better man? He says, yes, I believe that. I believe that belief in God makes a man more pious, more God-fearing, therefore more constrained in their behavior, more considerate to their fellow man, and likely, like me, to say, I want to leave good deeds behind for my children. So he says, when you have believers who do it that way, then actually they are a boon to society, because if people thought like them, they would be better human beings. And to the extent that they are better human beings to their fellow human beings, then the notion of faith in God is actually good for society. This is Aringer Anna's words. So if the founder of the DMK said so, and said, Ondre Kulam Oruvane Devan, all humanity is one, there is a God, all one God, universal God, then surely labeling the BMP as atheist is just a political canard.
Fair enough. I just want to end by sharing with you that I saw a small scene in a village in Salem, in your state, where there was a temple, then there was a statue of Gandhiji, and he was holding his famous stick in one hand and the Constitution of India in the other. And then right next to it, there was a dargah. And I thought that religion, reason, and the Constitution all coming together was the country that I believe in and that I hope for. And I think that's really, in some ways, I'm paraphrasing what you've said, that reason and religion and principles of equality and law is what this country was built on, and should continue to be built on, and we should continue to strive for. Dr. Tyagarajan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. We hope to have you back very soon, but I know you have a state to manage and a pandemic to handle and an economy to look after. So thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and take care. Bye-bye.